All right, good morning, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started. I just want to go over the rules once again. Um, this 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 mini commercial it is going to be recorded, and we ask that everyone keep their audio on mute. Now we'll have our introduction.
Good morning. We'll start with the agenda. First, we'll have an introduction of the director and outreach staff from Ms. Onika Porter, followed with a mini commercial with our Fair Housing Hotline, introduction of the Spotlighted Program, the Houston Harris County Emergency Rental Assistance Program. Then we'll have the upcoming events and final remarks.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Onika Porter, and I am introducing our director, Mr. Tom McCaslin. He's the director of the Housing and Community Development Department. Welcome and thank you guys for joining us today. I am Onika Porter, the administrative manager over the outreach team. Latasha Smith is our community involvement coordinator. Pedro Sosa is a community liaison. Becky Benitez is a community liaison, and Dejanay Jones is a community liaison. This is our wonderful team.
The Fair Housing Act prohibits housing discrimination based on race, color, national origin, religion, sex, disability, and familiar status. If a landlord refuses to rent to you because of your service animal, the language you speak, or the color of your skin, you may have been a victim of housing discrimination. If you feel that you have been discriminated against, call the Department of Housing and Urban Development at 1-800-669-0777. Want to learn more about fair housing rights? Call the Fair Housing Hotline at 832-394-6240.
All right, we would like to thank everyone who is online with us this morning. Today we are spotlighting the Harris County Emergency Rental Assistance Program. There's a lot of good information out there, and we definitely want to share it with everyone. At this time, I want to introduce our guest speaker, which is Shannon Stroder, Vice President Programs at Catholic Charities of the Archdiocese of Galveston, Houston, and Mr. Juan Chavola, Team Lead, Navigator Agency Lead with the Liaison Team. At this time, I want to turn it over to Ms. Shannon and Mr. Chavola.
Good morning, everyone. We're so excited to be here with you today and to present the Emergency Rental Assistance Program here in Houston and Harris County. So we'll get started. So today we're going to review our mission, a program overview, an introduction to the navigating agencies, landlord guidelines, and then the tenant application process. Our mission is to provide rent and utility assistance to prevent eviction and homelessness for families or individuals experiencing financial hardships due to COVID-19. For Baker Ripley, the Alliance, and Catholic Charities, we want to treat our clients with dignity and respect. Patience and empathy are essential. The program overview. This is a $195 million program for rental assistance, navigation services, and legal assistance through the City of Houston and Harris County. There's a common application available to all city and county renters at houstonharrishelp.org. Again, the website is houstonharrishelp.org. Renters can receive back rent as far as April 2020, so 12 months of back rent, with an option for 2 months of forward rents. Through this program, we prioritize tenants with 50% AMI or 90 days of employment. The technology partner is Connective that randomizes application and assigns cases to Baker Ripley, the Alliance, or Catholic Charities to verify eligibility and approve payment. And navigating agencies help people apply and provide ongoing support. So when we talk about navigators, what we have are 9 navigating agencies throughout the greater Houston area. You can see on the map on the right that they're really very represented all over our area. And really what they do is they reach out to tenants in their own geographic area to let them know about this program. They also assist tenants in the application preparation, understanding eligibility requirements, and document scanning and uploading. They also assist tenants in preparing the CDC moratorium declaration if applicable, and they also provide holistic tenant needs with referrals to healthcare, nutrition, workforce, etc. Tenants really come from the Navigator's own outreach, Navigator agency existing client bases, and they're also referred from the central ERAP contact centers or direct calls for renters. So these agencies really provide a lot of support to clients that need assistance with application and also getting the word out there. If you look at HoustonHarrisHelp.org navigators, you're able to see a map of where the navigators are located, plus information regarding their hours of operation, if you need to have an appointment, or if you can show up as a walk-in. So I really encourage people, again, to visit HoustonHarrisHelp.org navigators for more information. Landlord guidelines. This is really important. We really want to encourage the participation of landlords in this program because it provides protections to the tenant. Landlords agreed to give the tenant credit for any partial payments. They agreed to waive all late fees, penalties, and interest related to past due rent. But more importantly, they agreed to not pursue the enforcement of any judgments, writs of professions, or litigation around eviction. So it's really important to have landlords enrolled because it does provide protections to tenants through this program. Eligibility. Tenants are eligible if they reside in the city of Houston or Harris County. They have a household income of less than 80% AMI, which for Houston is around $48,000. They can demonstrate financial impact from COVID-19. That could be unemployment, furlough, reduction in hours, or unforeseen expenses, and are experiencing housing instability or at risk of homelessness. And they can prove that by providing a late utility notice, a late rent fee, eviction notice to determine the instability or risk of homelessness. Again, for full eligibility guidelines and documentation, you can visit HoustonHarrisHelp.org renters, and it'll show you where that information is available. The application process is very easy. We tried to make this as low barrier as possible. We encourage tenants to contact their landlords and ensure that they're enrolled in the program. They can submit their application through HoustonHarrisHelp.org. They go in, they can look for their landlords, and then they're able to identify their landlords and begin the application process. In instances where the landlord chooses not to participate or to opt out, there is a direct assistance option available to those clients if their landlords decide not to participate or enroll in the program. This is the website, HoustonHarrisHelp.org. Again, I encourage you to visit it, look at the application, look at the documentation around eligibility, the information available on the navigator so you can locate the nearest navigator in your community. A new opportunity on the website is targeted assistance for tenants in eviction proceedings. This really is working closely with the Alliance on preventing evictions. Clients are able to go in and let us know that they are facing eviction and they have a case number. And if that's the case, these cases are fast tracked through the Alliance and through Baker Ripken Catholic Charity, if appropriate, for action to ensure that we keep people housed and out of the eviction process. We also have a check your status checker. You're able to go on the website again at HoustonHarrisHelps.org. You can type in your information and see exactly where your application is in the process, if we're pending landlord approval, pending a payment, or if it's been paid. And it provides this information to the client, but also to the landlord, letting them know where we are in the process, so people have real-time information on their application status. One thing that we've been very pleased about and excited about is a series of rental assistance fairs throughout the greater Houston area. We've been working very closely with different community organizations, but especially the AFL-CIO, who've been instrumental in providing fairs where people can come in, they can sit down with the navigator, and they can be walked through the application process and get assistance in uploading documentation, filling out the application, getting information on what it takes to access this assistance. Right now, we're in the process of planning the next round of outreach events, and we'll notify you of those as soon as they're planned in the coming weeks. Any questions?
Yes, I have a question. My name is Ivy Fleming. Do you only help with just the rent? What about the mortgages? What do you have to offer for the people that are behind on their mortgages?
For this program, unfortunately, it's only for people with rent. There's no mortgage assistance with this program.
Do you have any programs available for mortgage assistance?
Not that I'm aware of, but what I can do is do a little research and I'll get back to the team on the information that I find.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, I have a question. Hello?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Okay, I had a question. I've been blessed in that I've been able to pay my rent, but like I'm not gonna make it next month. Um, and my landlord is aware, so I'm trying to avoid homelessness too. Um, she's aware of this program, and I'm just nervous about it. I don't want to end up on the street and trying to, I guess, present with documentation as far as eviction and stuff. My case is ongoing. It's still being reviewed. I've gotten help in the past. Y'all have helped me in the past, and I appreciate it. I'm just trying to put the things together again now.
Right.
So,
I would really encourage you to reapply for additional assistance. Chances are, if you've been assisted before, you'll be assisted again. So I really encourage you today, if you can, to go online and reapply for assistance and then let the process go through. Again, if your landlord is participating in this program, they've already agreed for qualifying tenants to not pursue eviction proceedings. So you have that protection. So again, I encourage you to reapply and also to ensure that your landlord is enrolled in the program.
okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Shannon, I have a question. What if your landlord does not want to participate?
Thanks for the question. That's okay. If your landlord chooses not to participate, there's a way to provide assistance directly to the tenant if they're a U.S. citizen or qualified alien. So in those instances, we reach out to the tenant, we reach out to the landlord. If the landlord informs us that they do not want to participate, then there's documentation that we are required to get from the tenant to meet the eligibility criteria, and then we're able to process that payment directly to the tenant if eligible.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I have a quick question as well. We had done some outreach events, and there were some citizens out there who were illegal, who didn't have any paperwork at all, but their children were citizens. Will the program still assist them?
If your landlord is a participating landlord, it doesn't matter what documentation that you have. It's okay to register and apply for assistance, and then when we are processing the application, we'll get in touch with the client, but also the landlord. The only constraint is when it's direct assistance. To receive the direct assistance option, you have to be a U.S. citizen or qualified alien to receive that assistance. And in that instance, it has to be someone that's 18 years or older.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Sure.
We have a senior property that has been sold. It was affordable housing. And as of September 15th, it will no longer be affordable housing. The rent, from what I understand, will be being doubled for these 60 tenants. The property has not been on this program because it is, of course, affordable housing. But as of September 15th, I believe these 60 residents will no longer be able to afford to live there. Will they be able to apply for rental assistance?
Yes, they will be able to apply for rental assistance, and I would encourage them to apply for rental assistance. I would also encourage them to encourage the new landlord to enroll in this program.
Okay, so if the new landlord enrolls in the program, they can apply for rental assistance. And if the new owner does not, sign up for this program, can they do this individually?
Right, they can apply regardless of if the landlord is enrolled or not, because there's a different pathway if the landlord chooses not to participate. But again, we would really encourage you to encourage the landlord to enroll, because what's so important about the landlord enrolling is that it provides protections against eviction for the tenants of the property. That's really why we want landlords enrolled, so that we're ensured that they're not going to proceed with any type of eviction proceedings against tenants that might enroll in this program.
Understand. And we just want to give them this service until they can find another place to live. It's very hard for a senior to find a place within 30 days that they can afford.
Right.
So thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you for the question.
Shannon, is there any incentives for the landlord to participate?
The incentive is assurance that they're going to be paid for back rent. You know, this is an extraordinary program because it allows us to pay 12 months of back rent and 2 months of forward rent. So for a lot of landlords that have tenants that have been unable to make their payments for a long period of time, this is a real opportunity for them to recoup some of the losses that they've experienced over the last year.
All right. Thank you so much.
I have another question myself. Since we're here at the housing, we get a lot of different calls coming in. We did have an individual who called. He has been up to date with his rent, and apparently he was misguided, but they said that they couldn't help him unless he was behind on his rent. But he's probably in a situation as a young man earlier where they're able to pay their rent, but at the last minute, say for this next month coming up, they may be out of a job and they don't qualify for the program just yet. Or do we just ask that they go ahead and register for the program and somebody will help them from there, I'd imagine.
Right. That's what I would recommend, is always have them apply for the assistance, because by the time that their application is processed, they might be past rent due, right?
Right.
And again, you know I've said this a number of times, but we really want to encourage landlords to enroll in the program so that it protects the tenants from facing eviction. That's really important. And I hope that that's a message that comes across today on why it's so important that we get landlords enrolled in this program.
Okay. Thank you. Are there any other questions? Any other questions? Ma'am, I think you're on mute.
I have a question for you for Catholic Charities. Could you hear me?
Yes, we can
Yes.
hear you now.
Okay, they had on the website, Catholic Charities had closed the program out for $1,500 for anyone that wanted to participate. And I didn't see it. The day of August 11th, I was at the clinic. I go to the doctor a lot. So I called yesterday to find out, are they going to reopen that program again? I understand it's going to be taking random people up until December of this year. So I'm wanting to know, are they going to open it back up again so the rest of the people can participate in this $1,500 that they're giving away per household?
Thank you for the question. As of today, the application period is open, but there might be an additional period opening in September. So just stay tuned. We're in the process of discussing that now.
So it's open, right? I can go online now
It's closed right now, but it may
Okay.
reopen in September. We're under discussions right now.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions out there?
I have a question. If
Sure.
the program does reopen in September, how will we be getting the word out to these individuals?
If it reopens in September, there'll be massive communications through the media, through radio, through community-based organizations, through news channels, and through the paper. So if it reopens, there'll be a massive media blitz letting people know that it's open. And of course, we'll contact our partners at the city and the county, so they're able to share that information as well.
Okay.
Thank you for that question.
Someone had their hand up. If you could just come off mute and ask your question.
Actually, that was me. Good morning, everyone. Just a little bit to add to those that are going to be needing assistance in the future. The application will ask for current rent due for the current month. If they've already paid August, put in $100 for right now just to be able to submit the application successfully. And then the 2 additional months that would be, excuse me, the 2 additional months that would be those first months that you would be needing the additional rent. But in order to successfully submit the application, since you're currently technically paid in full, just put in $100 for that first month's rent, the current month's rent.
So if they are going to get evicted and they may know, it's best to put at least $100 down to keep them afloat.
No, so the application will require currently your current rent. If it's zero, it might not permit the application to be submitted successfully. So it has a section for current rent and then additional future payments. So if the current rent, like some of them at the moment, they are currently applied, and I mean they are currently paid in full for rent, but they are going to be struggling here in the near future. September 1st is right around the corner, and they already know they're going to have issues paying the rent. Go ahead and submit $100 for that current month's rent in order just to be able to submit the application successfully. And then once it gets selected, of course, our ESs will be able to verify the current month that's owed, which would be September already.
Another quick question. I'm sorry, we get lots of calls here. So we had a few individuals that have contacted us, and they've already been evicted, and they're actually maybe living with someone, or hopefully they're not out on the streets. Will this program even be able to help them to get back into an apartment or be able to rent once again?
Unfortunately, this program is not set up to provide that type of assistance, but there are other programs in the city and the county that
Okay,
provide assistance for those type of clients, such as rapid rehousing. So
right.
in those instances, I would really encourage them to call the Coalition for the Homeless, undergo a coordinated assessment, and if eligible, they'll be assigned to one of many community-based organizations in the greater Houston area for assistance.
Thank you.
I want to add to that question that he just asked. The people that are homeless are going through and living with people. I understand that they have the program for rental assistance to help a person if they need help with their rent. And if that person don't have an address and they're living with someone, do they have to go stay in a shelter before you guys can help them?
No, they do not. They do not. And again, in those instances, they should contact the Coalition for the Homeless.
Do they have a coalition for the homeless? Is it a website?
There is a website for the coalition with a phone number, and they can undergo what's called a coordinated assessment. If they're eligible, then they'll be assigned to a number of different partners in the greater Houston area for assistance.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Do we have any other questions for our guest? All right, if there are no more questions, we'd like to thank you, Ms. Shannon and Mr. Shavola, for participating and assisting us. We feel that you guys are really useful to the community and can do a lot of help. So we definitely want to thank the both of you for coming out and participating.
Thank you for the invitation. We appreciate the opportunity to get the word out.
Thank you, Shannon.
So I just have one question. I was going to put it in the chat, but I realized that the chat was muted. Are you going to send this information out as well to the folks that registered for this training?
You can request the information. Just leave your email and information in the chat box, and we'll get that information out to you. And it's also being recorded, and it will be posted on our website.
Awesome.
It's also
And now we'll have Ms. Deja with our upcoming events.
All right. Hi, I'm stepping in for Deja. This is Latasha Smith. Our upcoming events will be the 360 Road to Home Ownership series. We are in our last session, which will be next week on August the 26th. 2021. It will be from 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock. Our focus will be maintenance and care after ownership. You don't want to miss this particular session. It has a lot of good information, and we have a lot of good experts to tell you about maintenance care. The next event that we are having, the next Lunch and Learn, will be our September the 24th Lunch and Learn, and we will focus on homelessness, awareness, prevention, and transitional housing. And that will be at the same time as this one, 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Last but not least, going back to our 360 Road to Home Ownership series, we will have a post Home Buyers Assistance Fair on September the 2nd from 6 to 7. Our focus will be giving information about various different home buyers, home buyer assistance, down payment assistance programs. So if you're looking to purchase your first home and you want to know great information about the different programs that's out there, please register for the fair and look at our website because we have more events to come.
Thank you, Latasha. And our final remarks will be from our management staff, Ms. Onika Porter.
I would like to thank everyone for joining us today. We really appreciate you and all of your questions. Please do not hesitate to reach out to us if you have any additional questions that you may not have thought of here on the call, so we can get your questions answered, so we can ensure that you get the assistance that you need in the near future. So again, please do not hesitate to get any of your questions over to us. Again, thank you for joining us today. We look forward to you joining more of our events, our upcoming events, and have a nice day.